Welcome to Straight Talk, and thank you very much for your time. Qatar is already a regional leader in news as well as sports coverage. This new mega project promises the best possible facilities and incentives for international media organizations, and we understand that it has already secured significant interest from media outlets. Tell us what inspired you to come up with such an ambitious plan, and why now?
Well, thank you first of all for having me on your show. This is actually our first interview talking about Qatar Media City for many reasons. Qatar has a history in media, a history that started with radio and TV in the 60s, that was built and established for the purpose of the government, to reach the information to the people. And in the 80s and 90s, which I call phase two, a huge shift happened. Columnists that are thinkers, that are academics, started writing in our newspapers their opinion on government laws, on regulation, and so on. And we did not react. We then realized, and the people realized, that media is a platform for people, for citizens, to voice their opinion. So that's what I call phase two.
Phase two. And now comes the phase three, I think.
No, phase three was in the mid-90s till 2004, where channels like Al Jazeera was established. You had two other local channels established, one in sports, Al Qas TV, which has more viewers outside Qatar than inside Qatar. We have a cultural channel, Al Rayyan TV, which was also established. Al Jazeera moved from just an Arabic into an English, into dozens of channels and languages.
But you say Qatar has a history in media, and you talked about the phases. But when we look at it, this decision has been taken and announced during this diplomatic crisis. Is this a reaction?
Well, see, first of all, Media City as a project was researched in 2005. A team was established in 2008 to implement it. But we did not see then that it was the right time. We were still establishing ourselves. Al Jazeera and all of these were as a sample, and a sample that succeeded. Al Jazeera now is an international network. No one can doubt that. And this international network was established by the independent journalists that worked in it. They had the space and the creativity to do their own shows, to do their own discussions. And as you know, the logo of Al Jazeera is, the different opinions.
Mm-hmm. So when do you plan on opening the Qatar Media City?
So just to go back, the ambition behind this project is an inspiration is from an ambitious leader, and that is His Highness. He asked to initiate this project in 2017, and we did it because we thought it was the right time. Now, to answer your question, is this a reaction? In the last 2 years, we have not just done this project. We have established the Free Zone Authority, which is in the works. We have established and kept on developing our labor laws for human rights. We have announced that our advisory council, we call it Shura Council, which is Parliament, will be holding elections. So in the last 2 years, this was not the only decision. Rather than see it as a reaction, see it as us moving forward rather than just sitting, pausing, and waiting until this crisis is over. The crisis is behind us. We are moving forward. Our bilateral relationships are strengthening. We are a respected economic investor worldwide, whether you ask banks, businesses, countries.
So do you think the blockade will end soon?
This is something they started. This is something they can end. As I said before, and maybe I can clear it up more, this crisis is not the first. We've been through crises since the 80s. I will give you an answer on behalf of the generations of Qatari officials that have dealt with different crises since the 80s until today, that Qatar is not an easy target. We are an independent country. We are not a follower. We have our own leader that we follow, which is His Highness. We are an independent country, and we build our bilateral relations on mutual respect. We do believe in dialogue, as we ourselves have been mediators for different matters throughout the region and beyond.
So if we get back to the blockading countries, how will you attract the media outlets currently there, and how this will benefit Qatar locally?
Well, see, we already have almost 33, if I'm not mistaken, agreements between media outlets and media technology-based outlets. Let me explain to you one thing. Think of Qatar Media City as three categories: TV channels, publications, and social media. Now, to me personally, social media is the upcoming new media. That is a part that we will focus on. I will give you an example exclusively. We will have, for example, small studios that any blogger or social media influencer can come. He will have everything he needs in front of him for free. He can film his YouTube video. He can edit them and that sort of thing.
So you will provide them with more facilities and opportunities.
We will provide them with the latest technologies in media, in exchange for social media, in exchange for these influencers to come and give a lecture in one of our universities, to come like Qatar University, which has a huge media department, like Northwestern University campus, which is an American university.
So with this project, Qatar wants to become a hub of freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
Well, see, our attraction point is that we will have no editorial limits. We will have a code of ethics. Now, this code of ethics, to simply explain it to you, is basically we, trust that those media outlets that come here are responsible for what they say, are responsible for their actions. We will not have any limitations on that sort. And the code of ethics is basically built on responsible media. And, for example, if a report comes out of a media outlet out of Doha, and this report upset one of the countries, here in Qatar, they cannot take them to court. They will be taken. They can go to the home or the headquarters and in their countries. So we will not have any dispute on the editorial side. But disputes such as commercial and so on, of course, will be there, but we hope it will not be a lot.
Okay, since the blockade, what has changed in the country in these 2 years, and how does this impact Qatar's foreign policy?
The last 2 years has definitely been a catalyst to speed up different fields. For example, we are now more self-sufficient in regards to different industries such as food and so on. Of course, cutting off the borders and being that those countries, most of our food and medicine used to come from them, we've dealt with it swiftly. And as you see today, people are living their lives normally. Nothing has really changed. No increase in prices. I think the crisis has been more positive to us than it was
before.
Negative.
So Qatar and Turkey enjoy great relations, and they have improved since this blockade. What do you say of the bilateral ties, and are we hoping to see more Qatari projects and investments in Turkey?
Well, see, Qatar and Turkey's relationship, I would consider it as a strategic relationship, a friendship, based on brotherhood, based on mutual respect, a relationship that started with both our countries trying to peacefully resolve different issues in the region. And from then, it grew. We had a strong relationship with Turkey way before the blockade. That relationship only became stronger now, and is continuing to become stronger day by day. Now, in regards to Turkish exports, if I'm not mistaken, it tripled during the last 3 years. We have invested more recently around $15 billion. There are future investments in Turkey.
So investments will continue.
Turkey, no doubt, Turkey's economy, no doubt, is a strong economy. I think no one can doubt that here or around the world. So we believe in Turkey's economy, and that is what our main purpose in investing in its economy.
Sir, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.